let's see. Yay, and we are live. Hi everyone. Test, test, test. Yay, and we are live. Hi. Wow, the sound is horrible. What's going on? Oh. Okay, let's see. Test, test, test. The sound is horrible. Okay, let's see if it sounds better now. I don't know why it broke. Okay. Well, today I'm going to color page 97 of my comic book, Niels Feynman's Time Traveling Adventures. Gonna close this. Oops. Here we go. Gonna get a older page to color. Okay, let's see. Test, now the sound is good. Awesome. Sound is normal again. It seems my lower USB is busted and it's not working right. Let's see. Mic seems to be going good now. So sorry about that. Delay there in the beginning. So I'm using Clip Studio Paint to color my comic book. It is a Japanese illustration program especially designed for making comic books, and I just love the vector line art in this program. It makes everything so much easier to color. It has something called layer detection. When you use the bucket tool, so it will take into account the layers above, in this case the line art layer. Okay. I made it too dark. There we go, much better. So this was Erwin, and now I'm going to color Marie. Erwin is named after Erwin Schrödinger. You know, the scientist with the cat and all the memes. And Marie is named after Marie Curie, the chemist and physicist. I think she still holds the record for only person to have a Nobel Prize in physics and chemistry or something like that. I'm trying to remember exactly for what discovery she got the Nobel Prize, but it escapes me. I mean, it was radioactive stuff, but I'm trying to remember which element exactly. Something with R, and I don't think it was radon. And I can't remember other radioactive stuff with the starting with R. So I think I might have to go and check the periodic table. Or maybe even better, Wikipedia. I just love Wikipedia. It's so convenient. Like, there might be mistakes there, but usually it's pretty reliable. It's like good enough. Plus, they never really go too deep into anything, so there isn't much problem. Like, Wikipedia has been such a great help for me to make this comic book, because I can find a lot of information and then continue to Google it until I find what I wanted. Hi, June. Is the sound okay for you? I'm always worried my sound is bad. Yeah, it's fine. Just try to tap on your mic a little. I like this. There's a background noise. I think it's my husband's computer. There we go. It's turned on. Let me put his computer on standby. Yeah, his water cooling system broke. It's not working, so it's no longer water cooled, and it is air cooled, so it sounds like an airplane. And I turned off his computer because he left it running with something, and I totally forgot to turn it off, and I'm sorry. Thank you for telling me. Cause I also heard some noise, but I just didn't make the connection that it was his computer. It was turned on the whole day, so I guess I got used to the noise. And didn't realize it was coming from him. Now I can hear my computer because his was like taking over all of the noise, and now I can hear it in my computer. Maybe someday um, we'll be able to have better equipment for this stuff. Like we have talked about making a little studio for me that I can do this stuff better. But you know, I'm not making any money from this, so it's really not worth the investment. It's more, you know, just for fun. Like I rather spend the money on additional assistants so we can have like better backgrounds for the comic. And for book 2, I plan to kind of do better shadows, less fuzzy, more solid. Like I think that would look better, just it would take up so much more time. To do the art better, like I wanted to show you some illustration. And this is something that I've also considered making for book 1, but I decided against it because it would be too time consuming. As you can see, the line art here is colored. So Drum seems to be more of a brownish line art here and more of a blue line art here. The characters in the shading seem to have blue line art, and they have brown line art here above, but here on the flags you have green line art, and it looks a lot better, but it takes so much more time, and I decided not to do that. But I would love it if my comic could look as pretty as that. Also, for Cambridge, I really didn't. They don't have trees. It's not as fantastical looking. You don't have interesting animals really. So maybe for book 2, where we can add elephants and tigers, and because they're going to India and China, I can make it more interesting. Oh, I'm offline? No, I'm online. Okay. I got a little scared there for a second. But I'm super enthusiastic that we're gonna finish chapter 4 soon. So we're past the half of the comic, so I can see like the end in sight. And I'm super excited to finish book 1. Like I'm gonna be so proud of myself when we get there. While I'm at it, I'll close this here as well. There we go, pink nose. I gotta explain to you the next pages, by the way, so I don't forget. Do you have time now? Or when should we go over the sketch pages? Okay, so I'm gonna open 99, I think, page 99. Which I didn't drew. I forgot. But oh, 98, sorry. This is 97, 98. I think we haven't discussed it and you haven't started it yet, right? So panel 1, Niels picked up the coin that the old librarian gave him, because he thought Niels was a beggar. And Niels is a bit happy now, because as you remember, he didn't have money to do the shopping for Newton and didn't want to disturb him with that. So now he's like, oh, I guess this is one way we can make money. And Marie is just, oh my god, no, that's a bad situation. Like, it's such a silly situation. She's like face palming herself that Niels thinks it's a good idea. Meanwhile, Erwin jumps off the table with Newton's page. Because the two actresses have come inside the room. And let me show you the map. So they came off the stage into the props and stuff room. And now they're entering the door here. And that's the door to the outside. So I labeled that with red and this other side door with blue, so hopefully it's easier for you to tell that it's a different door. And the fairy queen actress is taking off her costume, her wig, and her crown, and the other actress is also untying her costume so she can take it off. And they're talking about, oh, it was exhausting. Yeah, we're taking our costumes off, and she's taking here her. I put some olive leaves in her hair. Like, imagine what foreigners would think Italians are like. It's not supposed to be an accurate Italian costume. It's just how British in the Middle Ages thought that Italians would look like. Because apparently it's taking place in Greece or Rome or somewhere. The story I forgot. The characters had like ancient names, so I don't think it's situated in any real place. I read the story and I forgot again. And in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so fifth panel, this one in the middle, Niels is getting concerned, like what's taking Erwin so long, and Marie's thinking, oh, maybe we should check on him. And just when she enters the costume area, she bumps into Erwin, and then they both fall down, and because they hit each other. And then because of all of the commotion, Niels comes in and asks them if they're alright, and then the actresses see Niels and they think that he's like, a thief or peeping Tom or something bad, and like one of the actresses is yelling for let me show you. He's yelling for the old guy to come and get rid of Niels. And then Niels runs out, followed by Erwin and Marie, and he almost bumps into a woman that has just bought some strawberries, and like they almost flip her basket, and like strawberries are flying out. And if you can find a more interesting costume than the one that we all kept having for British women, like maybe not have a bonnet on her head, have like maybe a different hairdo or something, so we don't repeat the same costume too much. Although, to be honest, I kept looking at reference images to find some other costume, but aside from not having a bonnet on the head, there doesn't seem to be much variety in their clothing at the time, at least what I can find out. So if you get any inspiration, feel free to try something new. It's not a recurring character, it's just a woman that they almost knocked down when running, so that's the only panel that she'll ever appear in. So if we get a costume that isn't historically accurate, it's not a tragedy, but just to get a bit of variety so not everybody looks the same. And yeah, that would be it for page 98. And then page 99, 100, and 101, I have sketched them out on paper and pencil, but I haven't gotten to translating them to digital, so I'm gonna do that. Hopefully Cambridge Library will answer me in the next week regarding the clothing for a policeman, guardsman, because in page 99 is when I'll have one panel where the guard appears. I kind of changed things around so that he's only gonna appear in that panel. So if we ever need to change anything because we drew him wrong, it will only be one panel to correct. Also, for those of you listening to my stream and making comics and stories of your own, if you're not sure about something so you don't have too much to correct, make them as little visible as possible. I've changed it so it will appear only half of yeah, two panels, one his half and one his full body, so as little exposure as possible so I have little to correct. Also June, since we haven't drawn Niels's pouch in other chapters, because I was looking over the art and I realized that it's missing here and here and a bunch of other places, so I've adapted the story that he doesn't have his pouch. He left Newton without it because we forgot to draw it. So when the shipper dogs attack him in page 101, he's gonna notice that he doesn't have a pouch. And he's gonna be like, oh, my pouch with all my tools, useful tools, I don't have them, I'm in trouble. And Marie's gonna yell at him, oh, go get that stick from there and defend yourself with the stick. Yeah. We call these mistakes that are turned into good things Romanisme, which means Romanian stuff, Romanian adaptation. You screw up and you pretend like you meant it. So, if I'll ever get famous, and for whatever reason, if anybody asks you, You say I meant it. It was carefully planned out and meticulously executed, and I think 10 steps ahead of stuff because I'm so smart. uh, of course. Thank you for promising to cover up for me. It's so annoying, like these little things get by me sometimes, and I try not to beat up myself too much for them because I know other artists do this as well. um, like George R. R. Martin has some huge books, and sometimes he mixes up the eye color of the character or the gender of the horse or stuff like that. And what he gets upset about is the fact that I can't turn this off. Okay, I'll turn off the frames. And which panel is this one? 6. Because he also has unreliable narrators. So he does put mistakes on purpose just to show that humans don't remember stuff as well as they think they do. And if he makes actual real mistakes, the issue is that then people assume that he made more mistakes than he actually did. And that's something I would like to avoid. Like, only make intentional mistakes. To kind of have an unreliable narrator, things like that. Will it work? Let's see. Yep, it did. I kind of like more chocolatey Marie. Extra cocoa with my corgi. Oh, by the way, those corgi illustrations you shared, they were pretty cute. I like the lighting in it. Yeah, I would have preferred if the corgi was more chibi, more human features, but it still looks awesome. Here it's not one piece, I think. It looks like it's turned into one piece. Like, how was the guys? It was one piece? I don't, yeah, looks like it. Oh, I think we changed it. Yeah, I keep remembering the old version. Okay. It's all good. I remember when Marie had brown spots and we got to page 8 and I realized she didn't have the darker brown spots on her, if you remember. And we had like 3 pages with the dark spots and 5 pages without. And so in the end we changed Marie's design. And can I see the pouch? Yes, so I have to erase it. I don't think anybody's gonna notice, but and for Erwin, it's gonna be the yellow eye. I think it's so strange because Erwin is not symmetrical. So whenever I see him from a different side, it's like strange. Because I'll have like a couple of pages where he's viewed from one angle and then he moves and it's another angle. And for me it's always weird because there was a change. I don't think you have that problem because you don't do the coloring, but for me it's a lot more noticeable. How am I supposed to find the page here? I love how Marie keeps volunteering Erwin for stuff. Like, I don't know how it is in Italy, but in Romania, like, women will often volunteer the husbands to do stuff. Like, oh yeah, he can do that. Or the guy, and they'll often be sneaky and be like, oh, you're such a big strong man, you can do it, we believe in you. And men will often begrudgingly accept to do that, whatever it is, like get on the roof and retrieve something that the girl got stuck on the roof. So, you know, if, let's say a boy and a girl are playing with a drone and the girl gets the drone stuck in a tree or on the roof, it's kind of expected the guy to go and get it. Even though it's not his fault. But of course, in this situation, it is all Erwin's fault. It was his idea to see what is in the chest. And here Niels is kind of learning Marie's tricks, like, oh, I can't believe Erwin fell for that, and he believed you to go do something. And Marie explains to Niels that Erwin deep down inside wishes he was a dog, but he's a cat, so he feels like he has to act like a cat. And complain and be lazy, basically. That's kind of his idea and the general view of cats. So I kind of try and play a bit with social expectations. All three of them are kind of foreigners in their own way to the world they live in. Erwin is a cat in a man's world. They do have their cat state in Australia, but he's not in Australia, he's in England. Niels is also a foreigner. He's neither British in any way. He lived there, but he's not British. He's half Dutch and half Chinese. And Marie is a cyborgy, so she's no longer a normal dog. Oh, I can't wait to do a different design for Niels' shoes. I gave so much thought to other things that I just did not think of his shoes. So we're definitely gonna spend more time on the character design when we get to book 2. Like, I would like to have the character sheets and other things done before we start anything, and to have some test illustrations, see how easy it is for you to draw anything, and if we can find a better design for you that you can do faster, easier, and to look better, we're gonna be working a lot more closely together so I can make your life easier as well. Because there's like often a lot of details that don't add anything, and it's just pointless, time consuming, that has no value, and I don't think anybody will appreciate. I have been thinking, like, if I need to redesign anything with Marie and Erwin, and I'm really not sure. Like, there are some angles with Marie when I think she looks like she has a beard because of the hair on her collar is getting pushed up, and in photographs of corgis it looks fine, it looks cute, but I feel like when it's translated to line art 2D, it just might look a bit weird. So I've been trying to find some examples where somebody's done it better than us. And try and save the examples. And maybe we'll do a redesign when the time comes. Like I remember with Avatar, The Last Airbender, I don't know if you've seen the interviews, where they had a different type of costume for Aang, and it was just too much of a pain for the uh, animators because it wasn't symmetrical. And after, working with this project for so long, I kind of realized that sometimes you need to flip something, and I couldn't flip it because the character isn't symmetrical, so I don't think I'll change that for Erwin, but maybe not have a watch on one hand for Niels. Like that watch has been such a pain. I still have a page where I need to change it, to move it to the other hand, and I keep forgetting. And I'm like, yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it later, and then I'll do it tomorrow, and then I'll do it later, and so on, and it keeps getting pushed further and further. So yeah, I have a little to-do list, stuff I need to correct. Nobody seems to have noticed, so that's a good thing. I have so few followers, and even then, they usually read on their phone, so they wouldn't be able to see the mistakes anyway. Like, I'm lucky this isn't a cinema feature film type of big project that will be seen in high resolution. Yeah, this is a good time for us. We can fail and nobody's gonna notice. Like, with any luck, we'll become mediocre, so we'll still be able to make money from the comic, but not be that important that anybody's gonna say, hey, you messed up here. And then everybody's gotta notice and be like, hey, yeah, he's right, you did mess up here. But yeah, we did have a good start this year. Like, I got some more money from Society 6. Yeah, and here, and here, and here. Got some more money from Society 6, and oh, someone on Patreon sent me some money, but only 1 month. So I'm not sure if oh, hi Kirani. How are you? Can you hear me? Yes, man. Awesome. I was just saying that somebody new sent me money on Patreon. Wishes. I'm so sorry about your lag. Yeah, and they sent me money on Patreon, but only for 1 month, and I don't know if they canceled their subscription because I did something wrong, or they only meant to send me 1 month. I had missed it. Aw. But you're seeing me too. Yeah, I sent them a message to say thank you, but you also have the option to say why you canceled your payment for that month. I don't know. Patreon is weird. I'm not too fond of the Patreon system. It's kind of hard for me to tell what's what there. Yeah. Yeah, I like coffee more, but it's just that people don't know about coffee yet, so like I spent so much time telling people about Patreon, and posting it everywhere for years that whenever I do get some of these random donations, it's usually on Patreon. I think Patreon is better known and more trusted, I guess, despite all the scandals. Like, I don't think many people know about the issues that Patreon has had. And overall, it's pretty safe, I think. Um, I think coffee maybe in time will become the better alternative. I'm not sure. Hi, Robotato. Welcome to my channel. I got somebody on Picardo. So I have 3 streaming channels. I use Restream to stream. I'll get a little bit darker here for the neck. And he's gone. I feel like it's window shopping, to be honest. Like, it's super weird. I feel like I have a shop in a public area and I just have people randomly looking and then leaving. At least that's how I try and view things. Because it feels kind of strange, you know, people drop in, they don't say hello, and then they just leave. And I feel that it just is more like a shop. You know, you go in, you look, you don't like what you see, and you leave. And you guys are kind of my shop regulars. And, you know, you've been shopping for a long time, so you know the client's name. Oh, you're talking, let me just lag out the stream. Oh. Try and write. How was your day? Any projects you want to tell us about? Yeah, so first of all, Kirani has the Mana Up Guild, and they're doing a Winterimus event. So any of you want to join, you can find Mana Up on Twitter and join the Discord server from there. They organize game nights and things like that. Oh, super giant fabric order. Awesome. So you're gonna make more hats? Kitty cat hats. What will you do with the fabric? Still trying to pull. Since we have 9 days till our gamer season arrives. Oh yeah, I've been meaning to do that as well. I try to learn Movie Maker. It's a garbage program. I regret the days spent trying to learn Movie Maker. I want my time back. Well, I have decided to try some new things like hooded blankets done random characters. So many hat orders, probably going to be a bunch of hats and Pokemon Go costumes. Oh, that's nice. I love the blanket hats thing. I have one with a um fox hat blanket. I have actually, it's a towel. It's too small for me, but yeah, this is what I kind of have. Like it barely fits on my head, but um I still got it anyway. Like it's not very useful, but I love it. Decided I want to get back to original design crafting someday. Sewing is so much fun. Aw, I'm glad you're enjoying that. Sewing has never really been that big of a passion for me. I had a sewing machine, but it just took too long to get what I wanted. And it wasn't that much fun. It was a bit frustrating for me to sew. But I'm glad you're enjoying it. I feel the same way, but about coloring on the computer when it comes to sewing patience. Yeah, I think it's good to find what you can endure even when you get horrible results. And what I find frustrating is when you sew and you fail, um, you also lose material, like it's an expensive failure, if you get what I mean. Off to our tea party. Take care, Kirani. Thanks for dropping by. I think the cane is missing, June. I'm not sure. And you're absolutely right. Like going yard sale shopping to get cheap fabric I can mess up on. Yeah. Pickles and crackers and cheese. Feast for royalty, indeed. Yeah, it's missing, right? I mean, it's not something that I'm not noticing. Uh, I forgot the stick. Okay. No problem, I can draw that. I am a capable artist as well. Alice in Wonderland's Tea Party. Yeah, I love that. And now I'm gonna erase. So convenient. Have a wonderful day. I am amused at the lack of stick for the cane. Take care, Kirani. Thanks for coming by. Glad you enjoyed the stick. Teamwork, yeah. What am I gonna make his shoes? Like, trying to give him a really Protestant look. Grumpy. Sober. I mean, he looks kind of nice, but I like deceptively nice characters that turn out to be bad. Um, like in Game of Thrones, the actor that they cast to play a villain is like several of them actually. They seem like the nicest, sweetest guys, and in fact, they played generally good characters in other films. So, you know, when people saw them on screen, they were like, oh, he's gonna be a good character. Nope. I love it when casting companies play with our expectations and kind of anti typecast someone. And I'm rather proud of myself how I played with the grays here. Like, I have a warm gray and a cool gray, and I think they look great together. Might increase the contrast a bit. Make it even more blue. Yep. Looks good. Top, I think I'll make it. It should be yellow. Although, it's the back, so it will be different. Gotta go to dinner. Take care, June. Bye bye. Bon appetit. I'm gonna color the room inside. everything is brown here. I need to switch it up a bit. This is, I'll switch it up more towards the red, I guess. So kind of differentiate the table from the wall more. You just tweak the colors a bit. Should be fine. And the table needs to be bigger. Oh, it's a bit too short here. Although wasn't the bottle? Oh, it's in the back. I drew it more closely. Couldn't remember exactly what I did. Changes can occur from what you initially intended to what ends up happening. I kind of like coloring like this because you get small changes, and I think it makes it more interesting than if you copy paste the background. Of course I don't always do this. It's not the most efficient way to spend your time. But I decided to do it in this case. And the little lamp, the oil lamp. Am I right at doing it on the right layer? Okay. I often paint on the wrong layer, so I'm always scared. And everything is just brown in the Middle Ages. I I don't know, I think I feel I should have made it more colorful, but at the same time, my personal view of the British is that they're not a colorful people. Of course, I could be wrong. Like, I have seen some documentaries where it showed that they wore quite colorful clothing, which is not something that I expected. Um, my view of British people is the one of Pilgrims in America, because that's the one that I've seen most frequently, and apparently those guys were mostly kind of surely Protestant, and a lot of them were kind of Dutch, and the Dutch were a lot less colorful. Apparently they were more sober, kind of like you have the Chinese and the Japanese, and um whenever you go to Japan and look at temples, if it's a colorful temple of orange and green, it is a Buddhist temple, not a Shinto temple. So, yeah. I think it was one of those situations where, being from south of Europe, looking at another culture, you kind of have certain expectations that they behave a certain way. And so my expectations were that British were colorless, sober people. And after looking at documentaries, I realized that that is very far from it. There are British documentaries made by British people for British people, I think. So it's all big British circle. And they were wearing very colorful clothing in medieval Britain. It was actually England, it wasn't Britain at the time. Actually, researching for Newton's life, I came across the various dynasties in the British Isles, and apparently Newton was born in a kingdom and died in an empire, so the union of Scotland and England and maybe Wales was somewhere in there. I don't remember what was going on with Wales. But that took place during Newton's young adult life. So when you're talking about Middle Ages Britain, mostly mean England. They don't do that many documentaries about the Scots. And if you're a continental European like me, you're probably not gonna tell the difference between Scots and English. Much to the frustration of the Scots that do not want to be put in the same pot as the English. It's always fun. Fun history. But yeah, I don't get into that part in my comic. Because, the protagonist is a kid. He does not care about history. As I did not care about history when I was a kid, and I doubt my husband did. And I think most kids do not care about history when they're young. It's like everything that happened before they were born is ancient history. My grandfather fought in World War II, so that's history, obviously. When my dad went to school, he learned about uh, World War II in school at history, and he was like, "Oh my God, this stuff is so old, Dad." Grandpa, in my case. And then my dad got old, and my sister did the history of the revolution, and I did a bit as well. The revolution in the 80s to overthrow communism and get democracy and all that. And my dad was like, "Oh my God, my youth, my childhood is history." So yeah, it's funny how much stuff can happen in 100 years. Welcome back, June. You ate so fast? Or are you eating now, watching this? Anyway, chew your food well. Just the soup. Oh, I would like to have a soup, but I'm not good at making soups. Here I think I can just copy paste the old background though. Like I remember it took so long to color that is really not worth it. So I think I have pretty much everything covered. Just here I need to... There we go. I don't think I'm gonna keep this layer anymore just because, sorry, this panel. I think I won't have enough space for the dialogue speech bubbles. Oh, June, did I show you the 3D feature in Photoshop? There's a plugin for it and it's awesome. I think I did send you a preview, but I'm gonna show you better what it's all about. Let me just finish with this panel here before I forget. Come on. There we go. Oh, and the brush in Clip Studio Paint is another thing I wanted to show you. So I'll show you first the brush. I think I can drag and drop it here, right? Look at that. Isn't that awesome? And you immediately get some houses, middle-aged looking houses. Like for silhouettes in the background, I think this will be so nice. I think I can... I want it to be a full color. Can I choose? No. You just make them and you have silhouettes for the background. Like this should be so much easier when you need to like make houses in the background. And another thing I wanted to show you. So this house I made using a Blender, and then I got a 3D model into Photoshop. And this is so helpful, like I don't need to build the whole building, I just have this. So I started from... let me put the layer on top. Put everything in a group. So like this is the 3D model I started from. In this case I got a model from what's it called? Blend Swap. And in Blend Swap you can find a bunch of houses amongst other things, and they'll allow you to use it for commercial purposes as well. Of course you gotta check the license for each of them, because not all of them are like that. So you got a bunch of stuff here that you can use, like if you need to make a bigger house. and you can just in Blender is free, and you can just switch it every which way you want, and I think that will be a lot easier for us to kind of do this. I'm trying to figure out how we can implement this, because the panels are pretty small, and if you don't see the full picture it's kind of hard. I don't know, maybe I'll do like a little tutorial for you, maybe. Let me know what you think would be good for you to kind of show you how. You know what, let me just download this. Blend is public domain. I can't remember what public domain was. I'm gonna have to read again. Because, for example, you can export the line art like I showed you for those other buildings. So this is kind of how Blender looks like. What was it to move stuff around? Yeah, I'm still figuring out the buttons. So, for example, I want to render and only be the line art. There was the tutorial. Let me find it again. Line art export. Yep, this is
Hello,
it.
Leah.
I'm gonna put everything in the Discord server as well. So as you can see, you can export line art for a comic, and I managed to do this, but there's so many buttons here I can't remember exactly. I have to look at the tutorial again. Like I had to set something to transparent and blah blah blah, and I don't know where the transparent button is anymore. Like it's gotta be somewhere. Like I think I had to click the... I'm gonna open another project that I've done before, I think. Maybe it's in my downloads. Yeah, so this is the project that I got that little house out of. Let's see, if I click the render button, will it give me line art? No, it's giving me with the shading and everything. So I found a transparent button. It was in film. Freestyle something. Oh, I think this was one. The render. Nope. Well, it's in the tutorial anyway. Like, oh, now I get the line art. Okay, so I'm getting closer to what correct buttons I was supposed to press. I think I have to go to the... There we go, the thingy here, and exclude stuff. Those two boxes there that I'm not sure what they do. but if you deselect those, then you get the line art, and then you save. No. Can I put it to the desktop? I want it on the desktop. Save image as. Yay, I got the line art. It's not great, like I still need to work on the settings there, like in the tutorial it said. And you can get much better line art. But this is one way we can get some easier line art for, I think, for our comic, because there's a bunch of houses and roads and buildings and stuff already made there that people can use. So this might be a good time saver for you in certain situations. And yeah, you can either export it like this to Photoshop and then move that into Clip Studio Paint, and then trace the lines for it, but I think it will take you too much time to draw the lines for anything of this. It's very time consuming, so I think it's faster if we like edit existing line art that gets generated than to draw everything ourselves. Cause we're drawing real life buildings. It's nothing fantasy that we need to make from scratch. It's standard medieval housing. So there should be plenty of resources here in Blend Swap. So yeah, I showed you the tutorial. The news. If anybody else is interested, I'm gonna end the stream with a bit of news. So I now have a Discord server where I'm putting up tutorials and other things like that to kind of share a larger volume of links and resources and everything like that, and just keep my social media for more major updates. I tend to notice that, you know, if I share too many tutorials, some people don't like that and they unlike my page, so I'm just gonna make a Discord server for more enthusiastic people about this stuff, and they can have it there, and also they can ask me questions anytime. I'll try and be active on Discord. Also, we're getting close to 500 subscribers on YouTube, so thank you everyone for all your support, and welcome to all the new subscribers. When we get to 500 subscribers, I will do another art giveaway, so that is gonna be a Hisame original character lottery, as I've done in the past. I'm not sure about the details yet, like how many winners will be and stuff like that, so stay tuned. It's probably gonna be one or two, maybe 3 months before that happens, so it's not gonna be overnight. But what is happening next month is that we're gonna end chapter 4. We're gonna finish chapter 4, so we're gonna feature some fan art again. 2 or 3 artists will be featured. Their fan art will be featured in our comic, so if you want to send us your fan art, please do. feel free to send us. What else I had to tell you guys? Yeah, so I have started a bit more on the Earnest RPG game. I tried to learn RPG Maker. I kind of managed to learn it and realized that it's not very good, so that was a waste of time. And so I'm gonna start learning Unity now. So hopefully that'll go better. I'll be able to do things faster because RPG Maker is not a very efficient gaming development program. There are quite a lot of limitations that are very time consuming in my opinion. Some people like it, some people love discovering the buttons. I don't have time to discover any buttons, I need to know where the buttons are. So also if a program is not intuitive and you have to like jump over hoops in order to do something, it's gonna be a hard pass from me. Um, what else I had to tell you guys? I think that was it for the news that is new. Yeah, so thank you everybody for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it. And I will see you next time. Next stream is going to be Saturday at 1 o'clock Michigan, USA time, and I'll be drawing some more pixel art for the Stardew Valley Ghibli theme mod. That is a huge project, so pixel by pixel I'm getting that done as well when I have some free time. It's pixel art has been surprisingly relaxed for me. It's very repetitive and not very complicated, so it's relaxing for my brain. I don't have to learn anything new. So yeah, I'll be doing that, and thank you guys again, and have a lovely day. Bye bye everyone.